No, this is Flight Sim. You feel free to fuck off if you like, Aurelius. I don't give two shits, I'm afraid, mate. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry to start off on a negative note, but fucking, I don't know, man. This just in, this Twitch channel is 90% Flight Sim. Please do not act surprised if we play Flight Sim. Oh well, what can I say? Sharp, are you still here, mate? If you're not, then bollocks. If you are, then hello and bye-bye, I guess. Indy! How you doing, dude? How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. Weather outside is disgusting right now. It actually looks dangerously like it's going to rain, in which case my internet connection is going to go poop out of the window, etc. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll be okay. It's not going to be a very long stream anyway, so just going to nip down the eastern seaboard and probably call it a day, I would imagine. Anyway, Trainer, welcome aboard. Aurelius, Decal, Vanguard, whatever your fucking name is these days. Unprepared Flyer and anyone else who's lurking away. Right. I like this music, but I probably ought to turn it down a bit. It seems really loud in my ears, probably not on the stream though. Still need to get that kind of figured out. That's a bit more comfortable at my end, I don't know about you guys. As promised, we're going to be flying the Maddog. Well, you know, hopefully we're flying the Maddog, you know, as opposed to falling with style in the Maddog, as is usually the case whenever I try and fly this bloody thing. No Dave cam today, I'm afraid, by the way, guys. I have a bit of a nasty mouth ulcer, and basically if I animate any part of the right side of my face, I get instant pain all the time. So basically I look like I'm suffering from Down syndrome right now, and I just don't particularly feel like sharing that with you guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's not fun. TWA! I know, TWA hype. This is genuinely, I think, the best livery for the Rotate MD80, hands down. It's just so damn good. Cranky, he's a genius as far as I'm concerned. It's so freaking good. I guess Rotate kind of made it easy because their plane is beautiful to begin with, but still, just damn. Well, you know, for once, actually, the chat, even though I still can't figure out how to change the colours of it, it's actually TWA themed today. It's red and white, so nice. We are at Boston. Mr. X is amazingly awesome, like, genuinely fucking fantastic Boston scenery. Some of the best I think I own in Flight Sim, and it's freeware. I mean, it's well, you know, freeware, donationware, whatever you want to call it, but either way, it's awesome. We're here. Got that new photo scenery up and running. The weather was a bit crap earlier, but it's cleared up a bit now, so we might actually be able to see some of it. Leading us down to New York, which is where we're going. I'm gonna go to we're gonna go to Newark today because I don't think I've ever landed in Newark before. I've been to LaGuardia and JFK plenty of times, but never Newark. So we're going to go to Newark. So I've sim briefed myself. I've got a plan ready and everything, so that's all good. Look at this auto gen. I was telling you about this yesterday, but look at it. Mental. And zoomed in like this, I'm getting like 60 frames with this auto gen. Like, good grief. It must be like every second house in the entire city modelled. It's insane. I tell you, Explain really does impress you sometimes. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah, pretty good. The airport scenery is good as well, obviously. But we're going down to New York, where the scenery is awesome as well. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to see Manhattan from above at some point, because that's the best bit, really. Hello, Christian. Welcome aboard. How am I doing? Aside from the horrendous mouth ulcer, yeah, pretty good, actually. Generally speaking. Trying to figure out the CFBS HS748, because you wanted a prop. Rip you. I've not heard of that one before, actually. I know Aeroplane Heaven are working on an HS748 for Just Flight, but I've not heard of the CFBS one. Oh, give me a break, Mungo. I only just started, and you got it wrong anyway. I won't let me change it now, because you... Mungo, you are a curse upon this channel, my friend. I'm just going to throw that out there. I mean it in the nicest way possible, but you are an absolute curse. Anyway. Beautiful, beautiful MD80. We're taking it down from Boston to Newark. Might as well get on with it, I suppose. You actually did. You actually broke Nightbot. I mean, that's impressive. It's bloody impressive and annoying at the same time. Oh, God. Well, fine. Whatever. We'll just deal with it. Music, be gone. This seems really quiet now. Let me turn this up a bit. There we go. Don't have any ATC audio to listen to anyway, so it's not a big deal. Right. Boom, 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 boom. Do I have any view? I do have view set up for this thing. Excellent. I rebooted my computer last night, which means all of my X-Plane aircraft now require bloody activation keys again. Unfortunately. But I got all that out of the way today. I'm also using the latest version of SkyMax. I updated that because I was unhappy with my X-Plane clouds. I couldn't get them looking the way I wanted them to after doing a bit of tweaking with the textures and shaders and stuff. So I just caved in and decided to give the new SkyMax update a go, since they've made it work with FS Global Real Weather again, which previously it was a bit broken with. So, oh well. I could genuinely just sit here and looking at the external view of this thing all day. Just that high-res model with the amazing textures plus the scenery is just... You know, you could screenshot this right now and then just downscale it to like 512 resolution and then post it on Facebook and people would think it was a photograph. I mean, anyway, enough gushing over the graphics. You really did break it. You really did break it. It's just not doing anything. Wow. GG. Okay, so let's keep the yolks disappeared for now. I want the weight in pounds. It's nice that they gave you the option for kilograms in this thing, but the problem is when you have to refuel the plane using the menu up at the top left there, it's all done in pounds, so it's effectively pretty useless having kilograms in the FMC on this thing. Let's play around with the lights a bit. Whoop, 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 whoop. Rave mode has been activated, oh my god. Right, leave that alone. I saw that crash Catstrader's sim once, which was actually pretty funny. Moving the floodlight knob, of all things. Alright, let's see. I've switched a few bits and bobs on. We've got external power plugged in. Let's whack all of those on. You know what, actually? How about I get some fuel and stuff like that? Level 340, really? Simbrief, really? Is that what you think we're going to be doing on this particular route? I don't. 340 would be a bit of an ask in a plane that could actually climb, but not in this thing. Not a chance. MD11 is still the MD80, would be orgasmic. Potentially true, yeah. I do like the MD11. It's kind of a cool plane. Unfortunately, the old PMDG one, you just can't get anywhere anymore. I actually genuinely was looking to try and get a copy. Now that I actually have FSX installed, and now that I think at least I might have actually finally fixed the blurry textures in it. But yeah, I just can't find it anywhere. So that kind of sucks. What am I looking for? Weight and fuel. Let's see. Weight doesn't really matter so much. I'm going to try and make it as light as possible, otherwise we'll never get off the end of the fucking runway. Fuel, 17,000 pounds, really. Good grief. Fine. You say so. 1.8 hours. Yeah, that seems about right, actually. Payload weight, oh my god. We can make this a very heavy MD80, or we can make it a very light MD80. Let's go for somewhere in between, like, sort of around there. Yeah, seems okay to me. Right. So, I'm gonna need this, aren't I? Where is it? Where aircraft, weight and fuel, center of gravity is -7.5. Oh, McDonnell Douglas, you lunatics! Right, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Center of gravity is -7.5, but what does that equate to on this? Maybe I get that information from the FMC, now that I think about it. Perhaps. Okay, well. Index, pos... right, well, we're starting at Boston. So we can just whack that in there, and... yeah, I believe any one of these works, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. GPS position. Paste it in there. Route. Okay, we're going to Newark, so that's KEWR, right? I think. It is indeed, yes. Okay. KEWR, flight number, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, we're not online right now, but TWA 1215 can go in the box just for the sake of it being there. I'm in a bit of an all or nothing mood when it comes to ATC at the minute, really. It's sort of either I'm on pilotage with full ATC or I'm just offline completely. I don't really fancy doing the whole rigmarole of constantly monitoring VATSPY to make sure that I'm not getting caught out. There are a couple of instances reasonably recently where I'm getting yelled at by controllers who've popped online and literally about 30 seconds later have just told me off for not immediately contacting them. And I can't be arsed with that crap. I really can't, not today. So yeah. It's so weird, isn't it, Christian? Like, it's like I said it before, but it's like they don't want people's money, isn't it? I get that it wasn't the most popular thing ever when they first released it, but loads of people love that thing now. You know, never mind. Hopefully I can land this thing a bit better than the Cherokee yesterday. That was dreadful. Anyway, depart runway 33, I believe is what we're after today. Oh god, is it 33 left or right? Oh no, 33 left, yeah. Hang on a minute. Oh, there is a 33 right, but it's like the teeniest, tiniest little runway in history. It's like a helicopter runway or something. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely want 33 left. And I believe, as much as I'd love to be doing the Lobster 4, I'm pretty sure we want the Pats 4. There we go. Very nice. That takes us to Pats, and then from Pats we go direct to Nelly. Why are routes always so weird on the East Coast? Nelly, and then it's the Flossie 3. Arrival, which I don't have to put in right now, but I might as well. Lossy 3. Transition Nelly. Or Neely, I don't know. Potomsium, hello. Welcome aboard, sir. Amir, how are you doing as well? The medical ship poster, how are you doing as well? Willkommen, bienvenue, etc. And approach, no idea on the runway yet. Let's see if I don't think I have to worry about that right now. Just activate, execute. If I go to leggy page, it doesn't actually have any sexy leggies on it, which is a shame. But so I will ever perpetually be disappointed whenever I click the legs button. But it takes us all the way to something called Hoke here. So yeah, it's put in the first part of the arrival, just not the final approach to the runway, which is what a good FMC should do. Good FMC. Good Maddog. Pat.
Better than that.
So the PATS 4 is sort of a... How does this work exactly? If I'm guessing correctly, it's sort of a you take off and... Okay, no. I thought it was a sort of jobby where you take off and then got vectored. But apparently not. Thank you for the follow, person whose name I am not even going to begin trying to pronounce. Let's see. 33 left to tech. I don't really see the reason for the discontinuity there, actually. Let's just execute that and leave it alone. Plan. Yeah, we're literally just going to take off and then we're going to turn left towards tech. We're going to take off in a heading of 331 degrees. And then, yeah, it's just you turn left 31 forward at tech and then that's it. Wonderful, wonderful RNAV, so no thought required whatsoever, really. I'll put in 331 up here anyway. Oh, getting trolled by click spots. 331. This autopilot is really something, actually. I'm gonna get seriously, severely trolled by that today. I can already tell. Every time I fly this thing. I've never had a smooth flight in this thing, and it's not because there's anything wrong with the add-on as an add-on, it's just because the MD80 is such a bloody bizarre plane. So anyway, that looks fine. Our route looks exactly as it appears on my map in SimBrief, so that's all good. We'll put that over to map. Distance to waypoint isn't anything ridiculous, so that particular bug seems to have been squished. How's the ACG campaign? It's going alright, actually. I accidentally got put in charge of the squadron again last Sunday, and it actually was a fantastic mission. I just forgot to record any of it. I don't believe I'm going to be able to make it this next Sunday, though, because it's the... I'm remembering it right. It's the Pilot Edge anniversary event this Sunday. So I am going to be attending that instead. I'm sure if Dickie gets wind of that, he will actually explode. But you know, Pilot Edge anniversary event is not going to come around every day at the end of the every week. And no, hang on a minute, we're on a 2-week break anyway, aren't we? So that doesn't fucking matter. Right, forget I said anything. Right, door. Idiot. Alright, fuel. Done. 0 fuel weight. Done. Cost index. This is one of those cost indexes it goes from 0 to 999, so I think what we want is about 450, something like that. Reserves. Don't know. Well, total reserves are apparently, according to the SimRief document, total reserves are 7.1. There you go. Cruise altitude is sure as hell not going to be flight level 340. That just isn't going to happen. We'll try flight level 280? Yeah. There we go. Cruise wind. 230 at 99. Let's see. Top of climb outside air temperature is -48. Bit on the chilly side, eh? Execute ISO deviation. I don't have that information in front of me right now, but we'll leave it alone. Take off outside air temperature think it fills it in automatically, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go, 21 degrees. Which does cross-check quite nicely with FS Global, so it is correct. It's apparently a homeless man outside your house. Okay. Missing the useful data like the flight aircraft stuff. Oh, to be honest with you, the reason I haven't put it up is because nobody bothers to bloody read the things, usually. You're like the only person, Hubble, who actually bothers to read it. So I've kind of stopped bothering, really. Unless if I can get some clever clogs to help me out and create an overlay like that, but it's automated, so I don't have to actually fill in all of the bloody info every single time I switch an aircraft or something like that, then that's a bit more useful, but it's more trouble than it's... Oh my god. Oh right, yeah, no, I forgot the V-speeds in this thing are completely wrong unless you put the flaps down first. Okay, no wonder they're so high. Crikey. Okay, local pressure is 29089. Oh my days, that was a bit loud. Let me just, hold on a second. Sound. Ah. No wonder everything sounded a bit odd. And my engines have defaulted to 0%. This keeps happening with X-Plane lately. I don't know why, but my engine's audio slider keeps defaulting to 0 for some reason. And the weather keeps going up way too high too. It's just freaking irritating, honestly, is what it is. Yeah, okay, right, I can turn the main volume back down now. Stupid audio setting. For some reason, X-Plane on my computer just hates it when you reboot everything. Like, if you totally completely reboot the computer, as opposed to just putting it into sleep mode or whatever, X-Plane just does not know what to do with itself. It just resets a whole bunch of your settings. It requires you to reactivate aircraft with the serial keys and stuff. It's very strange. I don't know of anyone else who suffers from this problem as well, so it's probably something hardware related at my end. So yeah. Someone hammering away somewhere next door. I think there's builders in next door, and they've been there for like the last few weeks, and it's starting to drive me a little bit mad, if I'm completely honest. Anyway, CDU pre-flight bullshit is complete. So, let's see, we can put the flight directors on. The heading is already, you know, done in there. How do you make this? No, heading hold is... Right, you pull it for heading select, push it for heading hold. So we want pull, heading select. 331. We'll want some... Oh, damn it. Some bank limiter, I think. And... VS, this is so weird. It's like it's kind of a bit like using the TriStar autopilot, to be honest with you, if I had to compare it to anything. We'll go with 1800 on the climb at 1800 feet per minute. Top altitude can literally just be cruise, I guess. Which in our case is going to be 280. There we go. Speed, we'll set that initially for about 180 knots. That's reasonable sort of noise abatement kind of speed, I think. Auto throttle does not go on yet, because if you push that switch on, it will immediately go into just engines will start spooling up. It's kind of scary. That looks good to me. Although there's also the toga switches, isn't there, which work a bit strangely in this thing. There you go, EPR takeoff, 280 takeoff. I'm going to arm vertical speed on there instead of the take. I don't know how you're supposed to do it in the MD80, to be honest with you. It's just sort of, you just do it the way that works, honestly, and get on with it. Okay, so all this looks fine to me. Logo light, blah 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 blah. Anti-skid, disordered, etc. etc. This all looks fine to me. Start pump is on, so we can run up the APU. Up it comes. There we go. Nice one. Let's see, lights and things. Position lights on. That's not the anti-collision switch. Look at that. Look at that. How is? Look, my mouse is right on the anti-collision switch, and it controls the floodlights instead. Well done, rotate. There are a few click spots in this plane that are a bit like that drive me a little bit mental. It's a pet peeve of mine, sort of click spots that are inaccurate or not working properly. But never mind. We can live with it. Emergency light not armed, really? Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. Armed. No smoking in seatbelts, all that crap. This thing does have a cabin, actually, by the way. Can remember how to open this door. There we go. It's quite a nice one too. Like, you cannot criticize the graphics on this thing. Rotate did an incredible job with that. And I know it's a small thing, but I do kind of like actually having the whole full cabin model and everything like that. And it feels a lot more like a real aeroplane like that, you know, instead of you pushing your head through here and then having nothing, you know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just daft. Anyway, let's see. Transition pump, auxiliary, cross-feed valves, which are down there for some bizarro reason. APU's on. Bleed air, air conditioning supply is off. Air on. Unguard those switches. We'll use both systems for ignition. Go ahead and put the pitot heat on and stuff like that. Like, well, yeah, let's just whack it on so I don't forget about it. And we'll start up at the stand and power back, as is MD80 tradition. So we'll start the right one first. Here we go, nice. Hello, Chemo. Yeah, I got the green cockpit. I prefer it personally to the grey one. Probably makes me a bit odd, but you know, I just do. 19. Is it 20 you put the fuel in on this thing? I think so. We'll find out one way or the other. That EGT gauge, we haven't hot started, so I guess I was right. Those exhaust effects, so cool. Right. Okay, number 2's looking lovely. So the start valve can go off and guard it, and we'll start number 1. Hello, by the way, Flap. Oh, cool. That's moving away now. I've started the left engine. Probably should have done that before starting the left engine, but sod it. That plane doesn't look like it should be able to fly. It barely does, to be honest. Okay, both engines are looking good. So now comes the fun bit. This Gate Gourmet truck is going to be in some serious trouble. And what the... What are all these doing here? Like, I've never seen them before on this scenery. I guess they're clearly part of the scenery because, you know, they've got a little fuel truck, little people standing next to them and stuff in a line. It's just so weird that they're parked there on a otherwise usable stand. But no, look, they've got the jetway folded away and everything. Huh. Whatever. I'll just try not to, you know, blow them all over with my jet blast. All right. Reversers are activated. I'm bashing the microphone boom arm. Bucket reversers are out. Best kind of reversers, bucket reversers. Look at them. Look at those things. Fwah. And parking brake is released. Now, gingerly with the power, yeah. I don't want to tip over. This wouldn't be difficult. Oh shit, hold on. I've just noticed something. Those astute among you may have also noticed this too, but GPU is still connected. Also, apparently I needed to reset the APU bus. That's interesting. And also the main generators. Okay, right, well that's fine now. In fact, that can go off. As can the APU itself. Bleed air supply can go on, etc, etc. Anyway, back to the power back. Cutting a bit close, are we today, Gate Gourmet? Fuck's sake. The ground traffic in Mr. X's airports are always constantly forever trolling me. Like this fuel truck here, I bet he's going to try and ram into me. I should point out I'm not just doing this because I'm lazy. I'm actually doing this because they used to do this with MD80s and DC9s back in the day. They would just power back if there wasn't equipment available. Oh, he's like, nope, turning around. Hey, Petra. Alright, this will probably about do, really. Right, now, the rookie mistake here is to apply the brakes in order to stop. If you do that, the aircraft tips over, and you get a tail strike, and you look like a bit of a wally. You just pull the power back and then stow the reversers like so instead. Okay, right. Power back is complete. What else do we need right now? Do. Use the dim nose light. Your damper's off. Oh no. Galley power can go on, I suppose. Where the fuck's the yaw damper on this thing? There it is. Okay, job done. Where the hell is the anything on this thing? It's really a better question. Okay, these little valves can go shut now, the cross feeds, whatever you want to call them. Let's get you back over to the takeoff page because I'm going to lower the flaps now. Hydraulic pumps can go on, the auxiliary one can go off, I think, along with the transitionary valve, or maybe that stays on, I can't remember. 11, flaps 11 I think is good for takeoff with us. Do we have a CG thing here? CG 0. Okay. CG 0. Flaps 11, which gives us a long trim of 9.5 or so. Which is about there. A bit further down, there we go. The dialer flap thing I don't think we need to use. think it's weird, and I do not quite fully understand how it works exactly, but we will not be using it, and the weather radar / TCAS can come on somehow. How do you switch this thing on? I genuinely don't know. Oh, whoa, hello. Okay, right. There we go. I guess that's fine. That's the TCAS / you know, what do you call it? Weather radar. Okay, that's on. Let's taxi. So we're going to taxi onto Charlie and then just follow Charlie all the way to the end of the runway, I think. Yeah, Charlie should be right in front of us here somewhere, and we'll just jump onto that and follow it all the way. Yeah, I'm sure that's what the yaw damper's for. It's a bit dim, innit? I think it's because the sun's behind a cloud. Yeah, it is. I do like SkyMax's cloud shadow, I have to admit. It's a nice effect. It looks particularly impressive from above. In the evening when the shadows get a lot longer. Alright, we're going to cross 04 left, which is this here. We're offline, so no need to check for traffic. Maybe I should just do a quick right and left for the sake of forming habits. Is this P3D? Negative, this is X-plane. So yeah, we'll just follow this down here, and then we'll get to a junction up in front of us. Well, in fact, we're actually going to be crossing 04 right here, and then after that, there's a sort of fork, and we want to take the right, and then cross 27. Boston has way too many runways, like, in case you weren't aware. Yeah, like, I mean, really. You know, even Aberdeen doesn't look this ridiculous when it comes to runways, but still. So I turned on the supply air. I did indeed, actually, yeah, for once. It's up, yeah, on auto. Yeah. As for this, God knows what I'm supposed to do with that. Let's see, what is the local 29086? So I guess I'd set that to like there-ish. The click and drag is a bit squirrely. There we go. As far as I'm aware, the cabin pressurization stuff is completely fully automated. I don't have to put in a cruise altitude in there or anything like that. Either way, you might all asphyxiate. I'm sorry if that happens, but I don't know how pressurization systems work at all. It's like most of the other systems on these airliners, I kind of have a vague, basic understanding of when it comes to bleed air or hydraulics or the electrical systems or TCAS or inertial navigation systems or your FMC or any of that stuff, or even fly-by-wire. I get all of that, but pressurization stuff I just don't understand at all. Cabin, rate, climbs, they might as well all be Greek to me. I just don't get it at all. I really should sit down, read a couple of fucking articles and learn how it works, to be honest with you. But, hey-ho. Hey, Josh. Oh, and Rich as well. Oh, I'm missing everybody in the chat today. Okay, handily enough, it actually says on the ground Charlie's this way, so let's go this way. Gotta love it when you actually have amazing scenery, which does have stuff like that. Yeah, Rich's his reviews are really quite something. Frankly, they're the best flight sim reviews around. Actually, I can't think of anything that's more thorough or, you know, worth watching. Frankly. So, if you haven't, go check out Flight Sim 481's YouTube channel because he posts awesome aircraft reviews on there, and he actually knows what he's talking about in the reviews, which makes a refreshing change, to be honest with you. I mean, not that I have a leg to stand on. I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. But, you know, if you do care about actually getting things right, Rich is your man. That's for sure. Hello, Windsock. You're looking a bit flaccid today. That's probably good, to be honest. You don't want a an excited-looking Windsock at the end of the day. That's never good news. Big old cruise ship out there, very cool. What is that? Serenade of the Seas. Yep, apparently. Right, let's not do a couch straighter and go straight into the
Monkeys to fly better than that.
into the bay. Aerofem, thanks for the follow, mate. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Big boy lights coming on. Strobes, if I can find the click spot, is coming on as well. Anti-ice we do not need. Anti-fog doesn't do anything. Whatever. Everything here, as far as I can see, looks good. I don't think we need the star pump on anymore, though. And you certainly don't need to be open anymore. Bloody hell. Always forget about the start valves. Luckily, it's, you know, I haven't blown up anything because it's not that. The modelling's not quite that detailed, luckily for me. Okay, we got our flaps. 11 blue light because McDonnell Douglas. RTO is set on the auto brakes. We are ready to rock and roll. Does this thing have a clock you can run? It does, actually, so yeah, let's run the clock. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the heck out of here. Right, yep. Throttle up. Auto throttle goes on like that. That applies takeoff power. A bit of forward stick to make sure we don't rotate early. This plane either refuses to rotate or it rotates too early, never in between. My V-speeds are still way too high, shit. Oh, can I quickly just cheat and click the buttons? There we go, hooray! I don't think it's changed my bugs though. So that's about rotate speed for us. Got about that. It's a really awkward feature, but basically if you're confused, when you click the V-speeds, it sets it for the current flaps position, and when I entered my V-speeds during the pre-flight gear up, it was okay, speed select. I had my flaps up when I put the V-speeds in, so our speed bugs on the speedometer there are completely incorrect, all of them, so that's just grand. I don't need to worry about putting the flaps up just yet. The flaps on this thing are made of probably titanium and concrete, and you can extend them for almost like 250 knots, I think. Okay. Let's go LNAV, or NAV. There we go. Turn ourselves off to the left here. The bank limiter is currently on. Bear that in mind. I'm going to take a big risk here and put select VNav as well. It's not going to cause us to level out or something daft like that. It probably is, you know. I'm going to get rid of our flaps. Still hand flying, because hand flying this thing is actually quite fun. But I will put the autopilot on just about nowish so I can concentrate on other stuff. There we go. Yeah, it likes to level you out whenever you want to accelerate this thing instead of actually, you know, just reducing the rate of climb and accelerating while you do that. But hey ho. Anyway, fantastic view of Boston, as you can see. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a heck of a lot of autogen plus Mr. X's Boston plus the new photo scenery I built yesterday. We should have photo all the way down to New York, in theory anyway. That's the idea. Ooh. Nice lens flare effects. Okay, so go to legs here. Why do I have... oh, execute was for the... right, Cowsey can go to the top. That's our next waypoint. Yeah, I had to execute the speeds in order for the bugs to move, I think. Oh well, we're a bit beyond that now. Right, plane, are you going to take us to Cowsey? Or are you just going to turn in a big old circle? Like a silly bugger. No? Okay, we're good. Not the most reliable autopilot on the Rotate MD80, it has to be said. Okay, we've got nav track, VNav climb, FMS, EPR. 28,000 feet is armed. We're climbing into 28,000 right now, so I can reset this to standard pressure. Ooh. So we'll get rid of those as well. And suddenly all the weather has disappeared. Fantastic. Where has the weather gone? SkyMax, what are you playing at? This is why I continually uninstall you, because you do stupid things like this. Oh, here we go. Now you load back in. Whatever. How long does it take to make ortho scenery, and how much does it rape your hard drive space? Well, it can take a while to get a really large area, like an entire country, tiled up. And hard drive space, it depends on what, you know, zoom level you want to go with. I tend to go with the zoom level 16 for everything other than sort of major cities that I want in particular detail, or sometimes coastlines if I'm doing a lot of VFR in that area. For those bits, I do zoom level 17. Zoom level 16 will probably, if it's a full round tile with no water on it, that'll come in at about 2 gigs per tile. So it takes a lot of hard drive space at the end of the day if you want to have loads of the stuff. So it is a case of just buying a new hard drive to put the sim on, which is what I did. But you know, it's probably a wise thing to do anyway, just to keep the sort of fragmentation and stuff down, you know. Does this game contain accurate depictions of the world below as viewed from the cockpit? Well, in this case, absolutely yes, because as I just said, I built photo scenery for the sim, which means that what you are seeing out the windows right now down there is exactly what it looks like from the air in real life, like exactly, down to every little last building and road, because it's built using satellite imagery, so... Skymax, why do you always manage to look so crap? Set plugins. This seems really loud as well, by the way. I don't know how it is on the stream, but... Source Pro, configuration, cloud area covered, just... I've already turned it up quite a bit, it's just... It's refusing to draw clouds further away than about 10 bloody kilometers. For some reason. Is everything 2D? Does it render buildings in 3D? Yep. You use what's called OSM data, OpenStreetMap data, and mesh as well, and that overlays your forests and your buildings and your actual 3D roads, which your traffic drives around on. So, yep. If I zoom in down here, for example, as you can see, you've actually got roads with actual houses and stuff like that all down there. So... I don't have... this is just default X-Plane auto-gen. I'm not using any fancy OSM data like I do for Europe. If you... For example, I'm using I have a scenery pack called GB Pro for the UK, and it's accurate to the point where I have literally landed a helicopter outside my favourite pub in Norwich in the sim, because it literally does every single last bloody building. It's really, really damn impressive. So... Yeah, I mean, you know, I almost said this to the SimFest guys, actually, over the weekend, because they run PSX, which is a big, full-on 747 sim that you can technically use either X-Plane or P3D or FSX as a scenery generator for it. I'm very tempted to just say to them, you know, you should just fucking use X-Plane as the scenery generator, guys, because they can't use Active Sky for their weather with PSX. So they're not gaining anything by staying in P3D for that. And they spent half the stream complaining. It was a great stream, like it was really good fun. Don't get me wrong. But they spent half the stream complaining about their scenery not working and Vector messing up their airports and stuff like that. And I was just sitting there like, well, you know what? If you used X-Plane as a scenery generator for PSX instead of P3D, it would A, look better, and B, you wouldn't have all that to deal with all that crap. But whatever. I've been genuinely sorely tempted by PSX, to be honest with you, just because I found out you can run it X-Plane as a scenery generator for it. But the problem with it is obviously no 3D cockpit or anything with Aerowings. Nothing of the sort. It's really built for people making full-on real cockpit things for using with it, which I sure as shit can't afford. But hey. Top of descent's up just in front of us as well, as you can see, and we're only at 18,000 feet now. Like I said, flight level 340 was a real pipe dream. I don't know what you were thinking, Simbrief, but you're clearly not familiar with the MD88. It climbs like a dog. Like we're doing 1,500 feet per minute right now, which is not the worst in the world, but it's also like, you know, I can just about manage that in a fucking Cherokee. Probably going to be a very short cruise. Anyway, I'm going to get some charts up for Newark. As I said, I've never been there before, so could be interesting. We're doing the Flossy 3R now, aren't we? Which only makes me think of Blackadder. Flossy. Oh, that was such an amazing episode as well. Captain Blackadder, the Flanders pigeon murderer. If you've never seen Blackadder, you're truly missing out. One of the funniest TV programs of all time. I'll leave my bank limiter on 15 degrees right now so that we don't go yanking over at 30 degrees whenever we change direction in the cruise, but I'll need to remember to change that later on. So it's a bit choppy actually, but SkyVector has this cool feature now where pilot reports appear on it that you can read, and apparently there is a bit of light to moderate chop up here in this region right now, judging by the reports I read earlier on SkyVector, so that's pretty cool, honestly, that it's in the sim. But anyway, let's see, we're starting at Nelly, and then Flossie, Crank, Shaft, Sparta, VOR, Bilbo, and then vectors for one of the runways at least. What are we going to be using runway wise down there then? What's the wind like at Newark? 250 with 7 knots, so we're going to be probably using runway 29, so we want to go all the way down to Hoke here, which is taking us down to anyway. So if we go departures and arrivals, ILS 29 if we can get it, or is that not an ILS approach that even exists? Okay, apparently it looks like it's not. It's 29 like a tiny runway or something. Right, we'll take one of the 22s instead. Yeah, it looks like 29 is teeny weeny, so I don't know what they would use. Probably 22, right? Because it's probably furthest away from the terminal. What does the ground chart look like? What does Newark look like? Right. Yeah. Okay. I remember now. Yeah, we'll probably be landing on 22 left then. I would imagine. Because it's furthest away from the terminal. Seems to be the rule of thumb with most airports, with the exception of Manchester. So yeah. ILS 22 left. Approach transition pattern. Execute. Okay. Let's whack this over in a plan mode. Scale down the range a bit and have a little peek at what's in front of us here. Okay, so you get vectors there clearly. But in our case, I think I can just kill the discontinuity. It'll only cause problems with the autopilot, I think, anyway, if I don't get rid of it, so... Although... I don't think we need Hoke here anyway, now that I think about it. Because we're not going to runway 29, so... Look at this. Flossie 3. Oh yeah, no, we go as far as Sparta and that's it. So if I just grab pattern and move it just up underneath Sparta there. That's correct. Okay, we've got it sorted. Nice one. Back in the cockpit so you can actually see what I'm bloody doing. There you go, that's better. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, cool. Cool. Init, ref, index, approach. We'll use flaps 40. Which is going to be 137 knots. Let me just write this down. So 137 plus 5 is 142 will be our V approach. Wind correction. Oh, I don't know what to put in there. I'll just leave it alone. Okay, cool. Back to the legs page. Back to map.
You can teach
Very nice.
monkeys to fly better than that.
Yes, you probably can. But can you teach monkeys to fly the Maddog better than that? That's the question. Yastine, thank you for the follow as well. That's quite a view, isn't it? Josh has always told me the photo up here for the East Coast isn't that brilliant, and yeah, to be fair, it's not the best, but it's still not bad. It's better. It's still better than default. I think most of the photo scenery seems to have been taken during the autumn, which means everything looks a bit brown. But still, looks pretty good to me. Oh my god, it's so loud here. Stupid engine. It's so quiet up here. I mean, it's not quiet, it's really noisy because of the wind, but you can't hear the engines very much. And apparently it is like that. Like in the cruise in this thing, it's almost like being in a glider, I've been told. If you're up in the nose here. Nearly there. About 500 to go. Hello, Dirty Lemon. That terrain, you know what, I think you can make that a bit better. Let's see. Plugins, SkyMax, config. You just up that even a slight tiny bit. The clouds don't clip with the ground so much. There you go, that's better. I mean, because that just looks damn ugly. Are my flaps all the way up? Yeah, they are. Is this plane unusually hard to fly? Well, it is called the Maddog for a reason, at the end of the day. It just has a very weird autopilot. It has a really weird design philosophy behind it. Everything about it is just strange. Like, the positioning of a lot of the switches is completely contrary to the logic of all other airliners. It's a bizarre aircraft. It's kind of why I like it, actually, because it is weird. But, yeah. Particularly when I fly this on Pilot Edge with actual ATC, it's very easy to become very quickly overwhelmed when you're flying this thing, because there's just so much random crap you have to keep your eye on in all weird places around the cockpit. My Achilles heel in this thing seems to be TWA 1215 cleared visual approach. Those are the magic words that usually seem to end in near disaster whenever I fly this thing. Maneuvering it onto an ILS I can just about manage, but I'm told to take my own initiative in this thing. It's not good. The end result is not pretty. There's the compass. Unfortunately not modelled in this version, but yeah, the compass in the real plane, there's like a mirror in here somewhere which reflects your view up to where the compass actually is, which is up in that corner there, I think. For some reason they couldn't put the compass like here, like any other plane, so they had to put it up there. So what they did was they put a mirror here so that the pilot could look into the mirror, which would reflect off that way, so you could see the compass in the mirror. Just utterly batshit insane. I genuinely wonder whether even Russia could have designed a plane this bonkers. It does feel like it was designed by bloody Tupolev or something. Anyway, top of descent is coming up in our very near future. Our crossing restrictions are 3,000 above at Teb, Teterborough VOR. 2,500 above at Gimme. I think this is all once you're on the final approach course, more or less, as well. So We'll see how the VNav in this thing gets on. Last time I flew it, the VNav mostly behaved itself, although it did get a bit odd, and holy crap. Apparently we... okay. Oh yeah, this is one of SkyMax's renditions of Overcast that you can choose from. I'm not particularly fond of it myself, and I forgot it was selected. Stand by. Dense particles instead, please. There we go. That's a bit better. It's a little on the laggy side, but it definitely looks better. In my opinion, at least. I suppose if I set it to low particles, or whatever it is, sparse particles, it probably wouldn't be as laggy. So that's on me. Luckily the MD80 is incredibly good on frame rates, so I'm not noticing it too much. If I was in the 727 though, or something like that, I'd probably be wincing a bit right now. Anyway, let's see, top of descent is coming up now. Is there a descend now in this plane? There is, holy crap. Let's bring you down to about 5,000. Descent now. VNav descent. We'll see how it gets on. As I said, the VNav in this plane used to be shockingly bad. The last time I flew this on Pilot Edge, I did 2 legs in this thing on Pilot Edge, and on both journeys, the VNav actually behaved itself remarkably well. So we'll see how it gets on. Why is it TA only? It should be TARA. Below. Above. Normal. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I need to dial back my draw distance here a bit or something. Let's see. I'm giving this a go, to be honest with you, because like I said, I wasn't particularly happy with the way my regular clouds were working. I'm basically just waiting for Giant Unicorn to finish his new cloud shaders and textures and stuff so I can use them instead, but for now I'm giving SkyMax a go with the latest version. That does look quite pretty actually out there. They've gotten the sort of sunlight on those edges of the clouds just sort of bang on. That actually looks beautiful. That right there. Unfortunately, it's not beautiful on my frames. It's actually quite hideous. And then Miss Copilot is all, oh, SkyMax makes the frame rate better. No, it doesn't. Where is she anyway? Let's try sparse particles. Not as pretty, but not as laggy either. Actually, I'm not noticing much of a difference between the two settings, to be fair. Running extreme res or high res. NY32. Yeah, we got New York City. Still above our VNav profile, apparently. Although the plane tends to get a bit like that. If we go... You notice how the vertical deviation is decreasing constantly? That seems to be how this plane just sort of rolls. Maybe if I get the speed brake out a bit, let's see what it does. No, it just throttles up to compensate. So the speed brake's not going to help us right now, but you'll notice that it does actually tend to meet most restrictions. But this little the vertical deviation is basically useless. It doesn't tell you anything useful at all, because it just doesn't... The VNav in this plane doesn't try to match the vertical deviation thing on here. It just does its own thing. But I have noticed that generally speaking, it does tend to meet restrictions. It just... You can't trust the vertical deviation gauge, or whatever you call it, even slightly. Skymax does make FPS better if you use 1 kilometer draw distance. Yeah. I'm not using extreme res, that much for sure, because if I use extreme res in the MD80, I get about 2 frames per second on the ground. Oh, it's much better now. I think the overcast has cleared off a bit. Yeah, it has. Right, well, down we go, 1,500 feet per minute, and you can see that the vertical deviation is now finally coming up. We can expect 7,000 at crank, apparently. Let's try and put that in and see what happens as an actual constraint. Execute it. It's increased our rate of descent quite dramatically because it's suddenly realised, oh shit, I need to be at 7,000 there. Oh god. So we're now going down about 3,000 feet per minute. Can I increase that with speed brakes? Yeah, it looks like I can. I didn't notice that expect 7,000 at crank until literally just now, otherwise I would have put that in earlier. Never mind. This plane is draggy as hell, by the way, like it's super draggy. It does not have any issues slowing down. It's practically a goddamn turboprop with how quick it can just kill all of its speed. It's impressive. It does everything short of throwing out a freaking drag chute at the back. What's that down there? Probably some sort of race course or something? Yeah. Looks like you could do a bit of NASCAR on there, actually. I love. That's the thing I love about photoreal. Just looking out the window and then just picking out random things like that and thinking, oh, I wonder what that is. And that up there as well. Look at that. Is Greyhound racing much of a thing in the US? Looks almost like you could use that for horse racing or greyhound racing or something, I don't know. Drag in like the 727 then. The 727 is not too bad, it's the 737 that is just the king of being a slippery bastard. The 727's speed brakes are fairly substantial, and that will save your neck sometimes. Alternatively, it will also try and kill you if you forget about the throttles with the speed brakes left out and the altitude arm kicks in and you end up in a deep stall, which isn't so good. Sync up that heading bug as best as I can. Get the bank limit all the way over to the right hand side. We'll get the local altimeter, which is 29902. Well, that's handy. And put the wing lights out, mostly because in the real plane they actually create a bit of extra drag, which helps you with your descent. Don't know if that's the case in this though. Why are you leveling off at 15,000, plane? That's because we've reached crank. Rather altogether too high, unfortunately. I'm going to make this 3,000 instead of 3,000 above, and hopefully it'll expedite our descent somewhat. Or not. Whatever, MD80. Whatever, man. It's just like, no, we're going to go down at 500 feet per minute now, I've decided. I, on the other hand, never had other ideas playing, I'm sorry. And our weather has disappeared again. Fantastic. There's a 2K texture pack, which... Yeah, I do have the 2K texture pack, but it's still, even then, with extreme res, it completely nails me. So, whatever, at least we get a nice view of the scenery, I suppose. Right. The ILS frequency for 22 left is 108.7. Let's put that in here. Oh, look, we have clouds again. Took your time. Course is 219. Yeah, we want to be 3,000 prior to Gimme. Which is not quite what it... Yeah, okay, yeah. 3,000 prior to Gimme. 2,500... No, yeah, 2,500 at Gimme. Let me put that in as a hard constraint there, just to possibly help with the plane's calculations. Because I don't think this thing deals well with at or above altitude constraints. I think it seems to ignore them altogether, to be honest with you. And then it's 1,500 feet to intercept the glide slope, but we can probably do it way before that. The thing is, now we're overspeeding under 10,000, which is a bit annoying. No, sorry. Oh, stupid FMS speed. Speed cell. Fly this like it's a TriStar. I have command of everything. VNAV can go suck a fat one. Maximum speed brake. Slow me down. New York Center TWA 1215, no speed restrictions. Oh, thank you very much, New York Center. Okay. We seem to have things back in check now. Good stuff. Yeah, just coming down to 5,000 feet. Lovely jubbly. And police car, something? Not sure what that is. Oh shit, I think I've run out of photo scenery, yep. We've just come right to the edge of it. Whoops. Nobody look to your right, except we're not going to be able to avoid that for much longer. Oh well, never mind. I haven't finished building out all these tiles yet, but hey ho. Not missing out on much anyway, other than brown hills apparently. Right. What else can we do? Not a lot, really. Look at that, look at that. You can put flaps 11 down at 280 knots. Like, you having a laugh. You can put the gear down at 300. Oh, look, you can just see Manhattan in the background there. Nice one. If we'd gone to LaGuardia, we would have had a much better view, but never mind. How far back in time does planes go in this sim? I'm assuming you mean how old planes can you fly? It doesn't matter. As old as you like. As old as there have been planes. Just, you know, if you want to download an add-on for the right flyer, then you can. That's entirely up to you. I'm not entirely sure what Mr. Tichu means by a year or so. I haven't a clue what he's talking about, to be honest. Once we cross Patton, I'll start us descending down to 3,000. Red armor right now. We're heading to Teterboro. Not the actual airport, but we'll overfly the VOR. It's right in front of us there. We're just turning towards it right now, as a matter of fact. Okay. Let's VS ourselves down there. We can actually put out flaps 11 right now if we really want to. And we might as well, because why the hell not? We're in an MD80. We can do that shit. Oh, hello. Hello, New York. Wow. That is what I call scenery. You can get that scenery for P3D as well, actually. But as far as I'm aware, it's absolutely god-awful on your frame rate in P3D, whereas the X-Plane version is actually really nice. I'm not having any particularly big frame rate drops here, considering there is 3 major airports in this region, plus all of this regular auto-gen, plus the actual city itself, but yeah, flaps can do. We can put flaps 11 down at 280 knots, mate, and we're doing 245 right now, so yeah. Like I said, the flaps on this thing are made of concrete and titanium and the souls of fallen warriors, apparently, because, yeah, they're basically indestructible. Oh yeah, and all the flaps positions are bonkers because it's made by McDonnell Douglas, so we've got 11, 15's fine, 20's fine, but 24, 28. Mind you, the TriStar's a bit mad too, isn't it? Like, I think that thing has flaps 14, or possibly flaps 18, I think. Alright, let's see if we can grab this localizer. Looks like we can. And the glide slope, where it'll just hit ILS, and because the glide slope box, as opposed to diamond, is right there. Hello, Newark, how are you doing? Right, let's dial back our speed. Quite a bit. Let's put the gear out. We can put our flaps down to 15. Give the ladies in the back a bit of a bing bong. I actually mean a literal bing bong as opposed to a figurative bing bong, but we can do both if we like. Set our heading bug for the runway. 219. That's not what I meant to do. ILS back again, please. Missed approach. Altitude is 3,000, so I'll just whack that in there. Okay, 5 miles out. V approach speed is 142. As I calculated earlier and wrote down on my little bit of paper here. We can go flaps full. And the green land light has come on, which means we're fully configured to land. Down the bottom right there. Yep, we're pretty much ready to go. Oh, look at that. Possibly thumbnail material, that I think, actually, right there. Holy crap. Oh! Damn. Nice one. Or maybe even that. Wow. Okay, anyway. The scenery is pretty incredible, has to be said. Look at the autogen though, it's amazing. I can't believe you can have this much autogen in X-Plane and actually not have terrible performance. Okay, here we go. And suddenly clouds! Maybe this is because I've got this option here, which never change visible weather. That might fix it in future. Either way. I didn't forget, I didn't set any minimums, so 300, yeah, good enough for me. Landing! Autopilot. Go away. Auto throttle. Go away. Let's see if we can land this without tail striking it. Oh, doesn't look too bad. Okay, reverses are out. I didn't put in the auto brakes, I've just realised, so we'll go maximum reverse. And we'll do a bit of brake tapping. This thing doesn't like to slow down in a hurry, so... Tap dance on those brakes. This is one of the few planes in X-Plane where hitting the brakes button does not deploy the parking brake, so I don't get stupid ICAS messages and fart noises like Cherokee. Actually tapping the brake button actually applies the toe brakes instead. So yeah, thank goodness for little things like that, I suppose. Right, we'll clean up. Didn't deploy the spoilers either. Wow, GG. I'm a terrible Maddog pilot. But you already knew that, so... Okay. Where's my strobes at? There you are. Strobes off. Galley power off, all that usual stuff. Right, where the hell do we go? That is the question. To the terminal, obviously, but... We're currently on a taxiway that I do not know the name of. Apparently, they didn't endow it with signs that were pointing in this direction. Oh wait, no, I think... No, that's still pointing the other way around. Fucking fantastic, and... Okay, here we go. So this is November about to pull on to, I think, apparently, possibly. No, it's not. No, this is November here. This. Okay, right, I know where we are now. Okay, we'll cross it here at November, then on to Delta, and yeah, fuck it, I'll just to the terminal, the quickest way possible, please. Over here somewhere will do. flight director can go off. As can this weather radar TCAS majigger as well, actually, come to think of it. How do I turn you off? Like that, apparently. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, we can start the APU while we're at it too, why not? Doobity-doo. I don't know if you need the start pump for the APU, probably not actually, but whatever. It's starting. Still on November, apparently. Yeah. Right onto Delta. Or we could just carry on around with November actually, which I think is what I've done. Yeah, we're on Bravo now, possibly. Or not even that. I think we're on Alpha. The inside taxiway, whatever it is. In fact, I can see gates right over there, so I might just... Screw it. This way! We're going this way! How are you supposed to get to these gates, out of curiosity? Oh, you meant to go around like there, or... around there or something. First time visiting Newark. The lighting outside is not very good. There doesn't seem to be any taxiway lights either to help, so I'm a bit lost. But we seem to have made it to a gate, so it's all good. Yeah, we can absolutely have a replay. No worries. This is X-Plane. Replays are mandatory. Boop. Brakes on. And yeah, replay I guess time. No? Don't see why not. Remember if the TU-154 has any kind of camera effects? I don't think so. Cherokee was a rental, what did you expect? It was... I still don't even know what to make of that, man. Like, I know I'm not the best bloody sim pilot around, but at the same time, I landed that Cherokee as if I had Parkinson's disease. Like, the fuck even was that? I've watched the VOD a couple of times since as well. I still don't know what to make of it. Anyway, right. Whee! Okay, there we go, right. So, oh, perfect. This looks just grand. Runway view, here we go. It's a big old dildo with wings and a T-tail, isn't it, really? The 717 and the DC-9 are both a little bit more in proportion. The MD80 with the just ridiculously long fuselage looks so freaking goofy. Ugh. Not the smoothest, but I've had worse. Yes, taxi lines are more guidelines than actual rules. Arr. Zoom out a bit, get a bit of a side-on view of that landing. That thing does look pretty cool on approach, though, I've got to admit. Look at it. Well, you know what? It was a little on the firm side, but we didn't tail strike it, and we didn't really bounce either, so that's a bit of an improvement from yesterday. Very cool. Alright, we'll have a wing view. Oh my god, that's a wing view and a half. Thank you very much. Look at that. Christ alive. Oh, and of course it'll now crash the sim. No, okay, we're good for now, apparently. That would have been typical, though. I don't have any traffic on my roads, by the way. It's conspicuous by its absence, I know. But I've noticed if you turn all the traffic off on the roads, it does give you back about like 5 frames per second, so I do have it turned off most of the time unless I'm doing VFR. Yeah, if I'd flared it any more, we would have been dragging our arse along the tarmac behind us, so that's alright. Very nice. Look at the freaking normal mapping on these wings, by the way. Just look at that. Like that shine effect from the sun. It just, ugh, this plane is just achingly beautiful. Rotate just... Can rotate just like, I mean, you know, can we just have them do the external models and cockpits for every plane, ever? Can we just do that, you know? Just give them lots of money and have them just do all of the graphics for every plane. Their systems modelling leaves a little bit to be desired. We'll get the other guys like Flight Factor or whoever to do that for us. But if we can just have Rotate do all of the eye candy forever, that's completely fine by me. We'll make it a Kickstarter. Why not? Where are we headed? We just arrived, Queen, I'm afraid. And I will have to... I don't have enough time to go anywhere else, so that will be it from us. Look at the stabilizer trim. Stabilizer motion. We didn't get any of that, did we? We didn't get any stabilizer motion. I feel a little bit shortchanged. But good grief, that's beautiful. Just wow. Like I said, I promised you the Maddog, but I also promised you a pretty short stream yesterday, so... yeah, nothing I can do about that. Like I said, tomorrow looks likely for a proper full-length job. And unless I've got my dates all completely wrong, I think the big old Pilot Edge anniversary event thing is this weekend, so I will almost certainly be streaming that. I'm very, very, very tempted to take Concorde into it, so just because I'm such a special snowflake. I mean, if the Concorde can get out of Jackson Hole, it can sure as shit get out of Reno. Yep, Reno flying, and it is starting at a European-friendly time, which is fantastic. I asked Keith, like, as soon as he announced it, actually, I said to him, like, are us Europeans actually going to be able to take a part in this event? And he was like, yep. And I was like, oh my god. Count me in. Because I completely missed out on Aspen because it's starting at flipping 3 in the morning for me, which I know my sleep schedule gets pretty messed up at times, but even for me that was a bit of an ask. God, yeah, look at the trim on that. Yeah, I'll definitely be streaming the Reno flying for sure. We've even got an ACG campaign break, so my loyalties are not conflicted either. It's going to be perfect. Look at that. That's the end of the replay. So, okay, APU is up and running on the buses. Sayonara. Engines, you've served us well. You poor underpowered little sods. Nice one. I don't know which one of these is the APU pump, but never mind. I'll leave the no smoking on. And seatbelts off, ladies and gentlemen. You can all get up now. What else am I looking for here? That cannot be everything. I can go off. Okay, job done. Pretty much. Job done. Welcome to Newark Liberty International. First time being here. It's alright. The New York City airport scenery for X-Plane is not the greatest scenery ever devised by mankind, but you know what, it's better than whatever freeware alternative is out there, so I'll take it. And Boston was just difficult to compare to, really, with anything else, to be fair. So we'll put the APU on. I mean, APU, GPU even. Durr. APU off. You can open the forward door, the aft door, the cargo doors. You can get the stair out, why not? APU not cycled down yet. Oi, I told you to switch off. Still running. It won't turn off. God damn it, APU. Disobedient. Very disobedient. Whatever. There you go. I love the stairs at the back. That's one of the coolest things about this plane. BA Lounge at Newark is very nice. Preferred to JFK. Not bad then. Wonder whereabouts that is exactly. Not bad actually. It's a nice no-nonsense approach really, which is a refreshing change. LaGuardia 2020 is better to fly into. Yeah, it does have nice visual approaches, although I don't have the 2020 scenery just because if I happen to decide to go on VATSIM, then my taxi instructions will be completely useless if I have the 2020 scenery. So, hello, LaGuardia ground. I'm currently parked at a stand that doesn't technically exist yet. Could I push back onto a taxiway that I'm not sure exists either? Yeah, that's as great as the scenery actually looks. I don't currently have it for that reason. Well, they... Oh, hang on a minute. Ground handling. Okay, I forgot about it. I completely forgot I had that. Nice one. Well, there you go. We've got little ground toys as well. Very good. You think the Concorde race to JFK is on the cards now? Fair enough. JFK is one of the few transatlantic destinations in the Concorde that is not a pain in the arse, by the way, actually. Like, if you want to find a Boston in Concorde these days, good fucking luck. They're all their arrivals are RNAV now. There's no way to fly the Ocean 4 in the Concorde. You better hope there's controllers online who can give you vectors, basically. Yeah, come on, I'll see climb for the win. Trickier to do in practice than it is on paper, though, I've discovered. I wouldn't mind another bash at it, though. The fact that the chat is slightly overlaying over the nose of the aircraft is bothering me for slightly obsessive-compulsive reasons. Now, let me zoom this out and get that. Yeah, there we go. Get the city looking a bit bigger in the distance. Nice one. That's more like it. Fuck yeah. Although it doesn't beat the screenshot I took on approach, to be fair, so... Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for. Another very brief stream, but I hope you enjoyed it. Scenery was 10 out of 10 today. I think, now I've unticked that box, SkyMax will hopefully behave itself a bit better in future. I don't know, jury's still out on this bloody Clouds program, to be honest with you, but what I'm looking at right now on my screen definitely looks better than the way my Clouds and X-Plane currently look, using the default cloud system. I've got to be honest, even if the frame rate is not as good, so... I mean, just look at that, with the lens flare and the... I mean, that's beautiful. That's freaking beautiful. Yep, departure indeed. I'll catch you next time, guys, which will hopefully be tomorrow. We'll have a proper full-length stream, and I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I might spend most of it on Pilot Edge, to be honest with you. I don't promote Pilot Edge enough, mostly because I'm scared to death of it, but we'll probably start off in the Cherokee and then move on to something bigger and faster, and then probably move on to something even bigger and even faster, and just barrel around SoCal for a bit, I think. So, anyway, cheers everybody. I will catch you next time. I'll give you some nice outro music or something, I guess. And we'll do it all professional like. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I will see you next time. For now, ta-ta. And have fun. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.